Hello and welcome to Draw 7, where we have a tiebreaker between for third place for the men's event to send them on to nationals for Hebert and versus Oursler-Cherins. So I'm Judy Rackison. I'm doing the cameras and also commentating.
And I'm Brian Dauernheim, doing the rest of the commentary.
We may have a series of guest commentators come through as they're not required elsewhere.
The teams are just finished their practices, and the officials are making their way out onto the ice to get ready to get this game underway.
So this is the only game that'll be happening. All the other games are completed, and the championships have been awarded, and trophies as well. So our feature sheet is our only sheet, which will make things simple.
So you're winning the timing. Just since you're the only game, I get to supervise you for real close. But I'm also gonna
Oh, I've just realized the colors switched on the scoreboard. I will fix that. Oursler-Cherins is red and Hebert is yellow.
Alan, who is Hammer?
Hebert.
Hebert also has Hammer.
Also has hammer because they had the better cumulative last shot draw during the competition.
As I spoke to our official, Alan McNeil, Hebert has Hammer as they had the better LSD score throughout the entire competition. So they are allowed that small advantage as a reward.
So unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to post the end-by-end scores on Curling Zone. They have to manually add an additional draw. If that happens, we'll try to get that updated. But for now, the scoreboard is the one that you are viewing on the broadcast. And if you have any comments or questions, feel free to post them in the chat, and we will try to respond. So for anyone who's been following us all weekend, and there was some complaints of our audio being quite low, I think we finally fixed that for our very last draw. So hopefully you can hear us just fine.
Better late than never.
All right, fine.
So I'm reading through some of the athlete questionnaires we had from Team Hebert. We don't have any that I was able to find
No,
for
we don't.
the other team.
All three boys.
And apparently this team did make it to U18, or at least some of the players made it to U18 Nationals last year.
Not look like a poor guy.
Skip Ethan Hebert was the youngest player at U18 Nationals last year.
Not fully yet.
And Vice Ben Grady also was in U18 playdowns, or sorry, U18 championships. His favorite curling memory, in fact, is their last shot of last year's tiebreaker, which apparently they also had a tiebreaker last year to make it to U18 Nationals. So they have the experience edge, I would say, probably at this point.
Hard, Ben, go! All the way, go! Hard! Hard, Ben, go! Come on!
Not quite enough to fully chip that out, but rolled to the back 12.
You're good, Sean. You're good.
All right, let's split it. Quick and early.
There's a slight miss on that takeout attempt. Gives Oursler-Cherins a chance to split the house. Try to sit two.
Looks like it might be a bit heavy. As it swept out the back.
Going in.
Yeah, let's come in two, the rest. Yeah.
You got it, Chuck.
So Hebert now trying to just draw down to that back red rock.
Ben. Whoa.
Weight's pretty close. Looks like a nice shot. That was Shah Basiri, the lead for Team Hebert. He's been curling for 3 years. He's 14 years old.
Even nosing is fine.
And says his awesome mom got him involved in curling.
And he's had some fans on the broadcast who've been commenting, including, I believe, his Aunt Tara.
Got it, Carl.
And a double peel out of that one. Leaves an open house. This is probably not surprising, with the first end being the only sheet out here playing. Both teams trying to get a feel for the ice conditions before they try to get too aggressive or anything.
They, of course, had a few minutes to practice on the ice before they came out, but it is a little bit different out there with only one draw.
Take a look. Yes, gotta go. Come on, boys.
And 3 sweepers there, dragging it in, and it made it into the 12 foot.
Normal. Something on the handle. Yeah, what there's out, but still stay biting. Hit and stick. Yes, Jeffrey! Ready in peace.
Another peel and open house. I always like to try to put my rocks in different spots in these situations just to see if I can find a tricky spot for the other team that they can't manage to hit it.
Where? All the way.
This one looks like it's going to come up short.
Keep going.
Sweepers are calling 1-2.
Get ready.
So now we might see some change in tactics. With that one long guard up.
Looks a little down, or a little up.
This one staying way outside. And possibly heavy.
Yeah, it looks like it's going straight through the back.
So Ethan immediately calls for the draw around for Ben Grady. I was timing their game last night and heard them calling him by his nickname Big Money. Whoa. Big Money Ben.
No, I'm okay. I'm actually just supervising, so I can break it.
We're all there. Whoa, Sean, no. Up. It's gonna stick.
This one also hanging out a little bit, trying to finish.
Hey, shot, Ben.
Weight was pretty close.
That's really good.
A little bit behind, but it did curl at the end.
All right, freeze on it.
That guard is way, way long, so plenty of room to get around it.
Up room. Line's good too. Just make sure weight's there.
This one was much tighter to the guard and slipped all the way back out the other side. And so Ben is going to take a run at this one and see if he can get to it. Try to sit 2. Nice downweight hit here.
Yep, shot.
Very nice finesse shot there. That is one that you don't want to overthrow. He threw a nice weight at that. Was able to get the rock to curl enough, and then probably rolled a little further than he would have liked, but that is still a very nice shot. Now the first skip rock, trying to take that one out. Wow, that one just picked on something.
Yeah, it took a
That
sharp turn there.
100% picked on something there. He did not throw it that badly.
No, you could see it took a sharp angle there.
Yep. Unfortunate for them, and now Ethan has a chance to be sitting 3 with the hammer in the first end, taking an early lead. Pretty strange for a takeout like that to pick quite so hard. There must have really been something underneath that rock for that to happen.
Well, hopefully we take a careful look and make sure it's clean for the next end.
This early in the game, there's usually not a lot of junk or fuzz or anything on the ice, and very surprising that would happen.
Our ice team even did a quick scrape just on this one sheet before this game started.
Guys.
Could have been a bit of snow, I guess.
There. Go, guys. Go, go, go.
You're going to have to go hard on this one to get it into the house. Looking really light. They've been on it the whole time. Well, they got plenty of it.
Sorry about that. Our camera's frozen. You can see that they ended up in the 8-foot.
Now pretty much the same shot call here. You're trying to hit that yellow on the right side and kind of flop over in front of the other yellow, make it difficult to remove. There's pretty much no doubles here. And maybe a thin double, but it's not really worth it.
It'd be tricky.
Let's see if the skip can bail his team out here.
Yep, for line. Yep, for line. Off. Wide, off.
It's pretty close. It's a little outside. No, now it's coming over.
That's a nice shot. Oh.
Rolled
Well,
possibly
maybe
a little bit too far. Looked to me like it might have rolled just a little bit too far.
Yeah.
Everyone too. So.
Yep. He believes he is sitting 2, and so they're just going to draw for the third.
Yeah, we're 1-2 right now, looks like.
All he has to do here is get a piece of the 8-foot.
We just need 8 guys. We just need to bite to 8, okay?
And also not tap his own in the back. I don't think he can actually use that as backing. Sweeper's just cleaning it. Looks like they might think it's a little heavy. It's kind of hanging out on the outside again.
Yeah, we hear them calling it. It's gone through.
Just a little bit too heavy.
All right. So
Still have to settle for the deuce.
looks like it. Roller.
As long as they agree, they are going to...
Our camera's not exactly overhead, so
Yeah.
sometimes the angle is a bit deceiving.
And both teams have to agree on the score, otherwise they'll call out for a measure.
Looks like our...
And they are going to call for the measure.
Yep. And there's the official wandering over there.
No, this is obviously counting one.
Our officials springing into action now. Michael Dobbs is out there with the measuring device. I think they can move the one yellow out of the way. It's definitely at least one.
So I assume the official is the one who has to actually do the measuring. Michael's just carrying
Correct.
it for him.
Yeah. Our chief umpire is Tom Orient
Tom Oriens from the Plainfield Curling Club.
from the Plainfield Curling Club, and apparently is a Roman Catholic priest. The more you know. Da-na-na-na.
And you'll notice the lights flickering stopped. Just saying.
So it does look like it was yellow. 2 yellow.
Yeah, that's just Charles Broom.
Shark boy. Yeah, let's get everything.
So the teams have 1 minute in between ends as they time to regroup and talk about strategy for what they want to do for the next end. And apparently sometimes go take a little break in the warm room as one of our players runs back out onto the ice. They also get a 5-minute break after the 4th end.
And they get to confer with our coaches, I believe.
And
at that point.
yeah, at the end of the 4th end, they also can confer with their coaches. They also get 1 timeout each, which essentially works out to about a 2-minute timeout because they get travel time for the coaches to make their way out onto the ice as well.
Leave that back for Elijah.
We have not
Leave that back
had
for
anybody
Elijah.
have an issue so far this tournament with any of the timing. Most of the teams are playing quite quickly and usually finish with 3 to 4 minutes at least on their thinking clock times.
I don't know how much experience these teams have with timing. I mean, they might be just being a little bit cautious, which doesn't hurt.
Yeah, it really, as long as the players are ready to throw their rocks when the skip is ready, it really only takes 10 to 15 seconds, if that, to throw your shot for the leads in the front end. When it comes down to vice and skip rocks, it takes a little bit longer for the skip to make his way down to the other end, and possibly, if it's getting more complicated in the end, it'll take them a little more time. But they give you about 3 minutes and 45 seconds per end to play with the thinking time, and that is more than enough for most people, unless you're maybe Kevin Cooey, who has some issues with that sometimes.
Well, most of these skips have been really quick in making decisions, unless it's a really complicated shot. I mean,
Yeah.
if they've not been
And you can see
taking too much
here,
time.
even right here, the decisions are pretty simple. There's 2 shots to call.
Yeah.
You're either going to put another one in, or you're going to take out the red. I believe they decided to take out the red.
Hard!
Nice
got
shot
it.
by Shaw.
And that one is through.
I agree.
Actually, I like top 12.
Yeah, I like top 12, yeah.
So these two teams did meet twice in the round robin. The first matchup, Hebert won 10-2, and the second matchup, Hebert won 6-3. Oursler-Cherins' two wins were against Gartner, who advanced in the second position based on the tiebreaker procedures that we had, where all three of those teams finished 2 and 4 in the round robin.
We get it to touch. We get it to touch. We get it to touch. We get it to touch.
Great shot.
And it's a biter.
Great shot at it.
Great shot. Double. What am I hitting first?
Outside.
You're gonna roll on top of the water.
Shaping up to be a good end for Hebert to force and possibly steal. See, this is an important shot though. If he can make this hit and roll, or maybe even make the double, that'll kind of free up the end for him a little bit. Not touching it all, that's a rocket.
Yeah.
That looks like it's a field goal.
And straight through.
Yeah, I'm thinking another guard.
He might have just. That's a tough shot. I know, and your tendency on that is to want to make sure you throw it hard enough to get that roll over.
But then sometimes you just completely miss the line.
You just have to get the line first. And
It's hard to get those sort of wide angle up-weight shots.
he just happened to find a little bit of a straight spot. With that kind of weight, it just really doesn't have a chance. You notice the previous shot for Hebert, when he threw that same takeout, was a lot less weight, and they were working it on both sides to push it a little bit at the beginning and then hold the line at the end. But that rock right there from Oursler-Cherins just didn't have a chance. It was just too hard. So this one
they're going to tap here.
A little bit on the heavy side, kind of making a little bit of a wall back there.
Sit on the 4-foot.
So it looks like that.
Top one is not.
Yeah, it looks like
biting.
it's not in.
Looks like there's a little bit of white between there.
Which one am I hitting first? Which one am I hitting? Hit one, maybe roll out 3, but just try for 1.
Now switching gears a little bit here, just wanting to hit the one in the 4-foot and roll over to that other yellow in the back. It's a little less weight, but still hanging out there. They really did find that straight spot on both of those.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing.
Ugh.
Yeah.
You got it, man. Are we thinking like fighter? All right, I don't like full 4. You know?
Yeah.
Or no, sorry, full 12.
Okay. I'd rather come this way, so if I'm too far, we get covered.
Yeah.
So now just trying to draw into the top 12 and close off a little bit more of that possible draw. Access to that other yellow in the 4-foot. This is a little warm. It's hanging out as well. So both teams struggling a little bit with the ice in this end. Last 2 rocks for yellow have been a little heavy and straight, and the last 2 hits for red have just run really straight as well. So
Pretty
now,
much done that same line.
yeah. Running out of rocks in this end to kind of save yourself, so red is now calling for the freeze. It looks like it's on that same line that yellow just threw.
Looks a bit heavy too.
It's got to come down a bunch and curl a lot.
I think that one's through as well.
Yeah. It's tough when if you watch the other team throw their rocks, then maybe you think that it's a little heavy or you need to throw a little lighter. Sometimes you overcompensate. In that case, he didn't seem like he compensated at all and just basically threw the exact same thing that we just saw. Now Ben again trying the same thing. The sweepers think it's better weight anyways. It's still out pretty far out. It's got to come back.
Not sure how much it's going to curl given how straight it's been.
It's not curling a lot. It is coming right to that outside yellow.
All right, well.
It was a little heavy again. Slipped behind the tee line.
Well, now down that straight line everyone's been throwing, there's a rock there, so that'll. So there's a lot of rocks to hit there, no matter what he throws.
I don't think he's going to get a field goal on this one. It is.
Whether or not he'll stick around is another question.
He did call for peel weight. It looks like he's going to hit a little on the outside of that and roll out.
Well, it's hard to tell if it's sitting. If
Yellow is sitting 2 still. I don't think they're 3. It looks like that red is out counting that back yellow one, but
it's hard to tell from overhead
I
camera.
don't think it really. Well, I mean,
oh,
he's of course standing on the rock.
yeah, I
so
was like,
can't
where'd the
see it
rock
all.
go? It was there a moment ago. Thought maybe the camera froze again.
Regardless, it doesn't change the shot for Ethan here. He is.
Is he trying to hit and roll?
No, he's just gonna protect that same rock that he's been trying to.
Oh right, okay.
Throw
So
that top 12 again, or try to throw that top 12 again.
It's nice with only one game going on right now. You can pretty much hear all of their discussion.
Yep, that was a very nice shot. They were talking about where to leave that. It was hanging out a little bit. Did a nice job of trying to push it a little bit and curl over a little bit more.
What are you doing? Why don't you
So Ethan is just 14 years old. As I mentioned, he was the youngest player at the U18 Nationals last year. But he has been curling for 8 years already, since he was 6 years old. His parents curl.
A little bit more, Jeffrey. Actually, a little less, way less. Get on the stone. On the stone. Thank you. A little more.
All right. So let's see what happens here. He's definitely hitting the top yellow. Oh, that was lots of rocks moving there. It's not a bad result. Yellow is still sitting 2.
Cut it up. We gotta cut it up. Running it.
Yep. So yellow is still sitting 2. He did move a bunch of those rocks. So if yellow doesn't make this shot well enough, there's an opportunity for a double and possibly still get a deuce out of this somehow for red. One shot ago, did not look like there was much chance of it at all.
So it looks like curling zone has been updated. So if you want to follow along on the scores on each end, you go to curlingzone.com and click on the GNCC U18 men's event.
Like we're there. Yes, Eddie. Eddie, go. Eddie, go.
Wow, this one is curling a ton. That like almost picked in that same spot as the hit in the last end.
Go for win, go.
They're still trying to get it in. I don't think they're going to get there though. It's just losing
it's
everything.
Gonna be a guard.
So now, great opportunity for red here. If he can make this double and stick, he has a chance to get his deuce and get right back into the game and tie it up. It's the second pick I think we've seen in this game already.
I haven't seen a ton of picks
No,
all weekend, so.
He was a little narrow on that, but it was not, because that was essentially 4 feet off of where he was trying to end up. And so here's the hammer. Sweeper's on and off. Just cleaning it a little bit. It's pretty close. He might get a little too thin. And he does. So it looks like it's just going to be a steal of 1 for yellow. And Hebert will now take a 3-0 lead into the third end. Oursler-Cherins will retain the hammer. So a bit of a missed opportunity there. Unfortunate for Hebert that he picked on that last one. He went back after the end was over and checked the bottom of that rock just to see if there was something underneath it.
It's a good idea to check that.
Yeah, I was told earlier that the previous game on sheet C, in the earlier draw, there was a dead fly embedded in the ice that was behind the hack. However, they were afraid that it might, get stuck on their the bottom of one of their rocks, perhaps, and stuff. So our Iceman Andy Inglis went out and removed that thing for him. Yeah.
Yes. Well,
the Iceman's duties are never over.
Yeah, I can
Who
say
knew that was part of them.
he's been here for some long hours this weekend. I guess not weekend, last few days.
You gotta go. Both all the way. 2.
Sorry about that.
All right, so a guard up early here in the third end. Don't think that's what they were really hoping for, but should make the action a little bit more exciting, perhaps.
Three guys. Don't touch it. You touch it.
A little fall there.
Doesn't look like he touched the rock, though.
That's a 3. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa. All right.
He's a curler. He's tough.
All right, drink it.
If he did touch it, it was didn't slow the rock down at all, at least.
Yeah,
So
I was watching.
It was probably.
I was watching the camera. I think he was clear of it. He sort of leaned forward as he fell, so that he would protect the rock.
You got it, Joe.
And priorities of a curler.
I like the nose.
So that one did slip into the house a little bit. So Shaw is here. He's gonna try to just take that out and sit right there.
Ben! Whoa, Eddie! Ben! Hard!
Oh, good old directional sweeping, calling the sweepers' names back and forth. Confusing amusing the heck out of him, and he hits it right on the nose, just like he called. Which they probably would have happened no matter what.
No, Jeffrey, yes, hard. Jeffrey, yes.
I believe if I did that, Tom would write me.
Michael, yes. Jeffrey, yes.
So same call here. Red also trying to replace that with one of their own and control the center a little bit.
Looks like they're outside the rings, though.
They are outside the rings. However, the free guard zone is no longer in play. Doesn't really matter.
Just fighting, but let's do it. You got it, Eddie. All the way, Ben.
A little bit narrower on this one. The rock did move a little bit further across the center line on this, so it's a slightly different line.
Good shot, Eddie.
And hits it right on the nose once again. So teams trading hits and trying to maintain control of the center here.
No, God, no. You're sitting here.
Now, switching gears here. I believe that's Elijah is the skip, right? Is that?
I think that's right.
Elijah now calling for a guard. Basically realizing that if he keeps trading hits on guards, he's not particularly helping himself. This one looks a little hot.
So is the idea to put up his own guard then?
I think it's put up a guard and then hope you can
It's
try to
definitely
draw,
not. It's not going to guard.
try to draw behind it and everything, and it ends up being the exact same shot we've been throwing after all.
Yeah. Hard to break the habit, I guess.
You're like taking a guard. No.
So we have 31 viewers right now. It's about the same as we've had the last draws. So looks like everyone can't get enough of U18 curling, even in this extra game tiebreaker.
I mean, what else are you going to do on Saturday at noon? So Hebert also switching gears a bit and trying to draw behind this one. The sweepers are calling for it as fairly light, but they're trying to drag it into the house.
They've got it.
They did.
Wow, actually that went a lot further than I expected.
Yeah, it was a little bit wide, so they are going to have a little bit of error there where they could possibly make a hit and roll behind. See if he can get that weight dialed in a little better than the last end.
So what weight do you think they're trying to throw
I
on
think
this?
they're just trying to throw like a
Bumper?
control weight, maybe.
That looks more the board.
Yeah, he did call board.
That's way
That
more
looked
the
more
board.
like control to me. So still having a little trouble with the weight. That one's going to hang out and just miss everything altogether. Heavy
Yeah,
and
that was-
wide is a difficult combination for a skip to do anything with.
Let's half bury this though. We gotta half bury this.
Yeah.
Or do we like taking the red? Let's take it.
Yeah, I like that. Want to be more? I don't really like.
No, let's guard. Let's guard. Let's guard.
Okay, that's good.
So trying to decide between either taking that red out or trying to guard that shot stone in the 4-foot. They ultimately decided that
Wait for me, guys.
probably just that the risk of jamming that red into their own if it overcurled or something was a little too great, so they are going to try to guard this up.
Yes. Eddie, go.
It's hanging out a little bit, trying to bring it back over, and it is going to be a second shot rock in the house now.
I'm moving the shot zone over just a little bit.
Did, and so that hit and roll behind their own guard is not there anymore. Now they're going to try to hit the outside one, it looks like, possibly. Or no, actually they're going straight after that one. Take it back.
Mine's good. Yeah!
They're already on it, guys.
He's got the wrong handle, too.
They peeled it for us.
Oh, there was a miscommunication
I
there.
want to get in line, not the guard.
Can't do much with the wrong handle.
Yeah, miscommunication there between the team. I think the skip was calling the hit on the outside yellow, and so he wanted him to throw the in-turn. He threw the out-turn thinking he was going straight after the other yellow, and they crashed on that guard.
Well, we were debating between those two shots, so
Yeah,
I guess it's
yeah.
not surprising that the players were
Yeah,
as well.
communication is really important. You got to make sure that everybody is on the same page and they know what they're doing.
Certainly.
I mean, I don't think he realized until it was at the opposite hog line that it was the opposite handle of what he was expecting.
Yeah. It's always a good idea, I guess, as skip to make glance at the handle that your thrower
Right.
is using. Make sure that they understand what the shot is.
And usually if you've been playing together for a while, you kind of know if I, as a skip, am not sure that my team knows, I'll make sure I put my arm out and signal the handle. Usually the arm that is not holding the broom is the handle I want them to throw anyways. And so I just end up holding that hand up just to make sure they know.
Yeah. Skips aren't always consistent about that, though.
But yeah, some skips are lazy. Some skips
are just cold, I guess.
Yeah. Some skips I've seen, I tend to do this sometimes too. They'll be saying sweep, but their hand will be up as if not to sweep, trying to use the hand signals and all that.
Yeah, I'm in a team who has a lot of experience together.
Yeah, and I don't know.
Certainly.
They're U18 teams. They can only have been curling together for so long, I suppose.
And some of these teams are made up of players from different clubs, so I don't know how much time they get to practice together. So we've got a question in the chat. What do we mean by the handle? What we mean is the direction in which you rotate the rock, which affects the curl. If you rotate it the wrong way, it'll curl in the wrong direction and not end up where you want it. And you're supposed to start out by sort of having the rock pointed one direction or the other, so that it's clear which way you're going to rotate it.
So that last shot for Oursler-Cherins just ended up rolling a little bit too far. They hit the outside one as they were hoping. They were hoping just to kind of roll in front of those other two yellows, I think. Rolled a little too far, so Hebert thinks he can see a little bit of that outside red now, and he's going to just try to chip that out.
Shaw, you gotta go. Shaw's gotta go. Whoa, up.
This is a nice,
Whoa.
nice weight to be able to control how much it curls. That was what. Oh, and they crashed after all. That was exactly what I was looking for previously. From the red team, just have that nice control weight that you could control, but the sweepers just missed the line call on that one, I think. So now an opportunity for Oursler-Cherins to probably make the double here in sit 2.
So we just received a handwritten note giving us a bit of trivia. Team Hebert has only been playing together about a month, so they are a brand new team, and I'm sure they're doing great at this this tournament, and they'll be working on things like communication skills as a team, and they're doing very well.
So this one looks like it might be just gonna pretty close. Might just be getting to the nose of it.
Nice shot.
So just to the nose. They say they like the double. I don't know where there's a double. Looks like he's trying to hit the center one. I don't think he can hit the center one and push that.
He pushes it, he's going to jam on their own rock.
Yeah, I think all you need to do is hit the rock on the button
Yeah, I think that's what he's
and
calling.
flop a little bit to the outside. Just make sure you don't roll too far so that you're still out counting that other red on that side. And you should be fine to force.
Hit and roll over, right?
Exactly. You can hit the middle one.
Nose leaves him a double. If we roll a touch, then we're parallel. We don't leave him a double.
I think he just needs a tiny bit of a roll.
Yeah.
Like even if he noses it, it's still a tough double. Just don't overthink it too much. Make sure you get rid of this one.
Gotta go, gotta go, gotta go! Gotta go! Gotta go! Gotta go! Gotta go!
Seems to be
Gotta go! Go, go,
overcurling
go!
a bit, perhaps.
I don't think it is.
Whoa.
They were
no.
pretty much right on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, and you can see now the way it's set up. That is a pretty thin double. It might be there. It's worth a shot. You might as well take it on. You're down by 3. I mean, I don't really see a shot to only get 1 at this point. So if you hit that a little thin and just get right into that other yellow, you should be able to make the double. It's a tough shot. It's definitely there.
So this is hammer, right?
This is hammer. It's so quiet out there with only one game going on and nobody else yelling as a skip. You're back there all by yourself. Nobody's talking. And this is close. Just gotta just get a piece of that yellow. Oh no!
Oh,
between
right
both.
through.
That fell out. That fell out.
So that is 2 yellow.
2 more for yellow, and they will now take a 5-0 lead after 3 ends. That was so close. I mean, all I had to do was get a little piece of that, and it was going to be really close to just redirecting right onto that yellow and getting his deuce. Tough break for Elijah.
Still, there's 5 ends in the game left.
5 ends left. Stay focused and stay focused. Still good.
I'm trying to brush it off.
I don't mind trying to keep it open now, okay?
We should keep it
I still
open.
like on the floor.
Yeah,
You got a shot.
I like that.
So here you kind of hear a little bit of what Team Hebert was talking about with their strategy. That 1 minute that you get between ends is partially to let your sweepers recover if they just had to pound a rock all the way for a draw or something like that, and you get back and you kind of regroup and say, okay, where are we now? We're up 5-0. What do we want to do for our strategy for the rest of the game? How are we going to execute? And they said, you know, basically we're going to try to keep it open and make sure that we don't give the other team a chance to score multiple points. So I expect this first rock to go in the house. They don't want to have guards up. They're going to want to have this rock in the top of the house somewhere and force Team Oursler-Cherins to try to throw guards. And so that's a very nice shot by Shaw, right to the forefoot.
Take out, normal.
Can we just sit on it?
No, take it out. Being on it does nothing. Not out.
It looks like Oursler-Cherins is just going to nose this, remove it.
Girl. Michael, yeah. Michael, yeah. Go on it.
Whoa.
Are you good?
I'm fine. I didn't touch anything.
Good job.
Took a nosedive there over the rock, but I think the player is fine, and so is the rock.
Should get just enough of that one. He does. And dodging the rocks on all edges. Lots of fancy footwork in this end. Trying to avoid those rocks.
No, corner guard.
So there you go, another little issue with communication here. Disagreement of the shot call. The front end wanting to play corner guard and Elijah calling for a center guard. And it looks like neither is going to happen.
Yeah.
So this is playing right into Team Hebert's hands. They, as you heard between ends, they said they wanted to keep this end wide open, and so far it is going directly according to their plans. Nothing in the house.
Might be a bit heavy here.
Sit. Leave it and sit. Leave it and sit.
Slipping behind the tee now, and that gives a small opening. For a possible freeze. A little heavy on this one, though.
I'm not coming to the far wing. Far wing, wing. Wing, far wing.
No.
Okay, okay, comfortable.
All right. Or 8. I like 8.
Yeah, that's good.
Nothing really.
Yeah, you're good. All right, you're fine.
So with that a little bit of an opening, now Eddie is going to try to throw his second rock into the top 8. It's like pretty good weight. Just needed to curl a little bit more. That's a very nice shot by Eddie. Very nice. Not much left here to do, except now they gotta
Try to get rid of it.
try to get rid of some stuff now. The freeze to that back red was taken away by that nice shot by Eddie.
Also gets to go home, but
This is actually pretty close to making that double. And he does. Very
Nice shot.
shot.
Applause from the warm room.
I think that was finally a shot where that kind of weight was called for.
Yeah.
And he played it perfectly, so very nice. And is still setting up pretty well for Hebert here. They, if they can make this take out, only one rock is going to be in the house. Both sweepers now trying to directional push it over to that red there. He's got just enough of it to get it out. Very nicely done. Definitely seem to have a little bit of a straight patch on a couple of spots here. If you throw it a little too heavy, it's not going to come back on you. You were just able to get that one to curl enough.
Mike. Just a mic.
Our skip is up near the hog line. It's hard to capture view of what he,
Yeah, he
the
was,
shot that he called. Use the far away
just
camera.
calling for a guard here.
Ethan, I think we have to take it out. Okay. Yeah, 0 and 1 is good for us.
And it does end up as a nice guard,
Go for it, yeah, go for it. Just take it out.
which they are just going to peel as well.
Question in the chat about, is that a shark hoodie? Yes.
Oh yes, it definitely is.
Team
They are going to
Hebert.
make the peel, but the roll over leaves it a little bit as a corner guard. So now an opportunity for Oursler-Cherins to take advantage if they can get one buried here. This is running really straight on that center line. If it runs along that center line for too long, it just never has a chance to really curl very much.
Yeah, and it also just sails right through.
It's hanging on the back.
That's true. Okay,
Just a
back
little
12.
bit. They should have all of that rock though. Even if they couldn't see all of that rock, the distance from the guard to that rock is so far that you could almost see none of it, and it would still be available to you.
Okay, let's do it.
They can definitely see all of that though, so just make sure you get rid of it.
Responding to Allison, yes, I have enjoyed the shark hoodies, especially from above. It really looks like a shark.
It
The whole
looks
team.
like he is being eaten by a shark.
Yeah, the
from
whole
above.
team had the hoodies earlier. I think they've just shedded some layers as things have gone on.
Gotta go, gotta go. Gotta go. Gotta go, boys. We gotta go all the way. All the way. All the way. All the way. Gotta
A
go.
little tighter to that guard than I thought they would be. Still got to get it. Oh, over curled and missed it.
Just barely.
Sorry.
You want to split house?
You all saw a shot, right?
No.
Really?
No.
I smashed the other side of the house. Let's jump on ice. No, Jeff, that's where I
Jeff, center line.
All right.
So now definitely a chance to get right back in this game if they can manage to get a deuce here. Elijah needs to get this one in the house somewhere. Trying to just make sure you're separated enough that you don't leave a double. They called that it was the same weight as the last one, and the last one was pretty deep. So let's see if it hangs on. Ben is going to try to get this one through, and he does.
No problem,
So,
yeah.
so now a chance for Ethan to make up for his last shot. Come right back after this one again.
He was like control. Put it on his release. Okay.
I think that last one, Ethan probably just got it started a little bit. If he just manages to get his release a little better, a little cleaner this time, he should be fine. He's right on it again, though. Sweepers are right on it early again. I think he's going to do the same thing again. Nope. And yeah.
It's a tough line.
It is.
Very difficult to practice.
It is very tough to make that through that hole twice.
So this is hammer, right?
This is hammer. So if they can bring down that weight a little bit at this time, they get a chance to score their deuce and get right back in this game.
Absolutely.
Going into the fourth end break here.
Bring it hard! Hard on the way, hard! Yup, hard!
Well, he's definitely lighter than the last one. So
And Super seem to think it's in.
it is in. Now whether it will stay. Oh, I hope they didn't oversweep that.
Oh,
it
too
just
bad.
did go through, it looks like.
All right. That's one red.
So one red after all that. Just a little bit of an oversweep possibly by that. And so now we go to the fourth end break. Team Hebert holding on to that 5-1 lead, and they will take the hammer into the fifth end here. And we'll be right back in a minute.
Sorry.
Throw it, throw it, throw it.
All right, we're getting started again now for the 5th end.
Well, handle, that's fine, that's fine. It's gotta be 3 guys. No, you can stop it.
So just a quick check on the clocks. Halfway through the game, the teams are allowed 30 minutes total thinking time throughout the whole game. And both teams are well ahead on time. Oursler-Cherins has 18 minutes left on their clock, and Hebert has 17. So both teams well ahead of the 15 minutes they should have at the end of the 4 ends. So no problems there.
Let's go, yeah.
For anyone just joining us, if you want to follow along on the scores from each end, if you can't read the scoreboard way in the back, you can visit curlingzone.com, and we're entering the scores there as soon as we can after each end.
Yeah, now line's not moving. Line's not moving.
Leave it 0. Out. Not in play. No, it's not. Actually.
Go behind it.
So that one just sneaks across the hog line. They were planning to just try to freeze to that yellow rock. A little light and a little narrow.
I think they were worried about guarding that rock, which...
Yeah, he didn't.
why they
Once
didn't
once it
swing.
was so far over, he didn't really want to guard the opposition rock. But now that will work as a guard for Team Hebert if they can manage to get this one to curl a bit. It's going a little bit straight. This one might just take that little rub over.
Didn't
Not
move
bad
over
weight.
much,
It just ran a little bit straighter than I think they were hoping. Leaves that double opportunity now for Red, which he made a nice one of last end. See if he can duplicate that again. Has that nice Manitoba tuck delivery here, right up on that toe. Did they change that shot on me at the last second?
Sorry, I was trying to do something else at the time.
Changed that shot call on me out of nowhere. It was being blocked by the sweepers, and I couldn't see what they called. Looked like he ended up switching to a freeze call, but that is well wide and too heavy.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was just trying to get us some statistics on what the temperature is in the ice shed. Seems to be when it's a bit colder in there. Okay, so my theory is wrong. It's a bit warmer than it has been. The air temperature is 37 degrees.
About the highest I've seen the humidity out there at least.
Yeah, but the humidity might be a little bit higher than usual. Could be affecting it.
So far, Hebert sitting 2 with the hammer in this end. Hoping to get another one in, hang around somewhere.
It sticks around, you're good.
And just does slip through.
Peel.
And now I heard a peel call.
Yes! Let it curl.
gets the one. Sits right there again.
Hold on. Sorry, I saw something.
What do you like?
Normal?
Yeah.
No. Okay.
And again, right on the nose.
Do you think there's a double there now? Well, they seem to think so.
It is definitely there. You just got to be tricky. It's a little bit tricky. You have to be careful not to hit it too thin and skinny through both of them and not actually remove either. As long as you hit one of them thick enough, you should get both.
Beautiful. Actually, no, it needs to curl up. Little. Yes! No, stop, baby.
And there it is, and there's the jam. I think I need to take Ethan to Vegas with me because he saw that one coming like 3 shots ago when Eddie threw his a little heavy, and he said, "That's okay, it's still in play." And sure enough, it came into play. You never know.
Shot.
A little bit wide on this one. They're trying to push it back so that they can hold on to the shooter. Just got a little bit too thin and
Yeah, and they're both out.
Now comes an interesting choice. If you're Oursler-Cherins here, you got a bunch of different choices. You can draw down to that yellow. You can draw behind your own red and probably end up being shot. They are choosing to throw up another guard and try to clutter up the front a little more.
Yeah!
I mean, you're down 4 here, so I think they're thinking they have to start stealing a couple points here and there.
Yeah,
and that corner guard over on the left side is probably not good enough for them to steal. And so they're going to try to put up a center guard and hope for a miss somewhere, and so that they can maybe draw behind it.
There's a bar also.
So now Ben trying to draw around here with his second of 2 rocks. This one's curling hard on him. If they can get it over, it'll be a nice shot if they can get it in the house.
Looks like it's in.
It is in. It didn't quite curl as much as they wanted, but I think it curled just enough.
It's the club sharing, somehow that's it.
So, as you can see, that rock is maybe just edge on edge with that red guard. It makes that hit and roll a little bit difficult. You're going to have to be really careful on that weight if you do want to try that. I'm not sure if that is his call. That would be the ideal result, I think, is just manage to flop underneath a little bit.
It's going to come all the way across the face then.
Going to have to be really, really careful with his weight here then. It's like about a control weight, and the vice immediately yells out that he was way wide. And I agree.
Yeah,
and
there's a big hole there.
they're hoping to just get the back one now.
Oh, yeah. Looks like he's got that.
What just happened there? Somebody burned a rock there somewhere. I'm not sure who. Ethan was trying to get in there to sweep the shooter once it made contact. And somebody's broom touched the rock and clearly just stopped it and moved it completely out of the way. So they are going to, depending on who actually touched it, they're going to move that. The opposing team is going to move the rocks to where they think they would have ended up.
Well, it looks like they've removed both of those rocks.
That is probably fair. I think they were probably going to peel, just make a peel on that shot.
Looks like they're going to draw here.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to try to draw again, yeah. I'm not sure. It definitely has enough ice for just a straight draw around, which is definitely a good possibility. There's also a possibility if he is tight, then he could split it, but he is not tight, and he is not heavy.
Even a guard here would be fine.
Let's go, guys. Let's go.
He's way wide. I don't think he wants a guard out there, though.
As far as we can, guys. Let's go. Let's go.
Sweepers are getting a lot of credit here if they can get it to the house again.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
And they just did.
Same line. Same
So
way.
those sweepers earning their money right now. They had just got the last two rocks that were very light. Both managed to get them into the house. All right, so now Elijah is going to try to make up for his miss in the last end. And that was good communication. I think that time they realized that they perhaps were, the Vice and the Skip were thinking of different shots. Now they agreed that they're trying to hit the outside one, maybe make a double or roll into the other one. And just didn't quite get enough of that one to move it out of the house. So now there is an open draw now for Ethan to possibly take his deuce and reopen that 6-point lead again. Or 5 point? What are they going to? They would be up 6, yeah. 7-1 lead if he makes the shot. So we were just cleaning this one this time. It is definitely still pretty far out there. See if he can hold on to the rings on this one.
Yeah, I think it's a little too heavy.
It is a little too heavy again. And so it will end up being only a 1 for yellow. And they will now take a 6-1 lead after 5 ends. Last 2 ends, a couple of missed opportunities where teams had open draws and just threw it a little bit too heavy, just underestimating the speed of the ice a little bit. But understandable since the last shot that he just threw just barely ended up being a biter of the 12-foot. So, just
No, there are no minimums. You can resign after 1 in the tournament.
They have that now for televised events because of the sponsors.
Well, yeah, it's because 4 years ago when they televised the U.S.
I know exactly.
So both these teams are from out of town. We are just outside of Washington, D.C. here in Laurel, Maryland at the Potomac Curling Club. The Jackson Oursler-Cherins team is from Plainfield, New Jersey. In good conditions, probably about a 4-hour drive, maybe.
It's rarely good conditions up I-95.
And it snowed today around DC, so no, I think they've probably got that under control. And the Hebert team is from Massachusetts, so a bit longer of a drive, assuming that they drove.
It's probably 9-10 hours up there.
Yeah. And just running to about 2 p.m. Eastern time out here, so it's going to be a late night for these teams, regardless of
I'm guessing
when this game ends.
The curlers are probably not the ones driving home, and probably their
Probably
parents,
not.
so they can pass out in the back.
These parents are sitting behind us here on pins and needles, just... I'm glad it's not me. That's all I got to say.
Still a fairly large audience here in the warm room. You can sort of see in the shot on the left.
Hey, I don't mind coming to the other side.
Looks like that one's through.
I like to split. Let's split it. Yeah. More.
So Hebert, as we mentioned a couple ends ago, happy to keep this end open. They don't want any guards up. Even though that first rock slipped a little bit behind the tee line, they're not too worried about it. They're going to try to get another one in, put a lot of pressure on the red team. This one right to the tee.
If they do that from across and they're not getting disturbed.
Yeah!
This one hitting and rolling over and just across the top of that one.
Yeah.
Anyone who's just joined us, please feel free to post comments in the chat window, and we will try to respond. Or questions, we're happy to answer.
So Ben here trying to push Eddie's rock. I have no idea what they just did there. Oh, there was a hog line violation called by the official. That's the first one I think we've had all tournament.
Well, I was talking to one of the line judges earlier today, and he said that they've had a couple actually.
Oh, yeah?
Maybe not on the feature sheet, but they've called a few of them. So we have some very cold-looking volunteers sitting out on the ice, watching both hog lines to check for just this.
That is unfortunate. But you are required to release the rock before the hog line. We, of course, do not have the fancy rocks with sensors in them like many of the national and world competitions do.
So instead we have people.
And so instead we have officials who will watch it, and that also misses. And I was there when they were talking to the officials. They really don't want to be the deciding factor in these games. So they are instructed that the rock clearly needs to be held on to past the hog line for you to call a violation. And so if he did at this point in the game, there must definitely have been a violation. So
Since there's only one game going on now, there's no one potentially blocking, just happening to be in the way on the other sheet.
Right.
So it's much easier to watch when there's only one game.
So same shot call here. And Ben was able that time to push the rock over far enough to take out that red rock and also took out his own, which I don't think they mind at all. As we talked about a couple ends ago, they're trying to keep this as open as they can. They have a 5-point lead now with only 3 ends to go. Just trying to make sure that at most they give up 1 point. And this one is just going too far wide again. Just got that one started a little bit, I think. And it's very difficult to hold those shots in place. And so once again, another open house to draw to. Try to sit 2 for yellow. And this one also slipping just behind the tee line, but hanging on in the back. It's the same shot attempt here. Just trying to hit that yellow and roll over to the other yellow a little bit. The weight is a little more controlled, but it's just gonna hit it really thin and not quite get enough of it. That one, as opposed to the previous shot, ran really straight. The other one curled a bunch. Just that difference of the line a little bit there. This one definitely got a lot more juice on it. We're gonna end up going right through.
Get on the back, hit the backer. Normal. Freeze on the backer.
So again, shifting gears here for the red team, deciding to try to freeze to that back yellow.
It's like a lot of weight for freeze.
Oh, I forgot. I was gonna switch to
Sweeping it for line. I don't think it needs it for line. And just bumps it out, and wow, that is...
Might still be on the line, but it's not in the rings.
There. Of course, standing right over it, so I can't see it.
I see feet.
Looks like it's out to me. I don't know. But in their case, I don't think they can take a chance. If they're not sure, they're going to make sure they take it out.
Mason must be really close in the back line.
If there's any chance that that one is in, they don't want to give up a cheap 2 by leaving it there.
Like rolling it? Okay.
So.
Hey, let's do the other side, actually.
Okay.
Bowl sweepers trying to hold this one in place. It's curling hard. All they have to do is just move it an inch if they get any of it, and they do. I think he's pretty happy that one only had to move a little bit.
Yeah.
That was
It was very thin.
about as thin as you can get.
But it didn't have to move far.
No, it didn't have to move far. So still that one yellow biting in the back 12 over there.
Those spiders can come in handy.
Yeah, with nothing else in play, you might as well try to use it if you're red. If you're Elijah, you just got to try to get in front of it somewhere and hope they jam, and maybe you'll get your deuce after all. See if he can adjust his weight a little bit here. Yeah, lots of room to move here. Weight looks maybe a little bit heavy again. It's just not curling enough over. So even if it does stay, I don't think they're going to be frozen.
Yeah, it's a little too heavy.
And yeah, it's just too heavy. I think if he had just been a little bit lighter, the line was going to be pretty close.
Yeah.
So I will just say, as a skip, that I miss these shots like 75% of the time.
The wide open ones, yeah.
The ones where there's absolutely no pressure and all I have to do is draw and touch something, and I miss it every time.
I only skip occasionally, but I think I have a similar record. It's when you underestimate the open shot.
Mm-hmm. You think all I have to do is I just got to touch paint somewhere on the other side of the house? No problem, sure. It's especially difficult when you just threw a takeout on the last shot. You just adjusting that weight is.
There seems to be a lot of particular lines on the ice today, also that faster or slower. So it's a tricky thing to adjust to.
Might be able to slow down. Yeah, that's slowing down enough. It's a good shot.
Very nice. Draw to the button.
Right to the
well,
tee.
a little past the button.
What's the shot? Okay.
So no double there. Looks like Elijah is just going to try to draw. He can use that yellow as backing if he's a little heavy.
And this is hammer.
And this is the hammer, yes. Takes his one here. He would only be down 6-2. He's still in the game. They are sweeping it hard. They are not going to use that backing at this rate. It's got to curl a bunch if they want to use that backing, I should say.
Don't think it can curl that far.
This is close. Will it stop in time? Oh, no. It just slips a little bit too far.
Just a couple feet too
really
far.
Nice try.
Yeah. So
that's another steal for yellow. That makes the score 7-1. A bit of conferring going on over here. Let's see what happens. Still talking. Still talking. And they are going to shake after all. No, wait. Oh, wait. No. Stopped him. Wait. I have no idea. There's a bit of drama. And there it is. Handshakes. So congratulations to Ethan Hebert and his team.
They are
our third representative for the GNCC at the U18 Nationals.
With a final score of 7-1.
So congratulations to them. That was Shah Basiri, Eddie Lee, Ben Grady, and Ethan Hebert. Also, very nice game for Team Oursler-Cherins. Hold on, I'm looking up their team. Michael Phillips, Jeffrey Fearon, Elijah D. Romanis, and Jackson Oursler-Cherins. Congratulations to them. They all played great all weekend.
All of the teams did really well this weekend.
And they did, yes.
Exciting tournament.
thanks again for joining us. Good luck to all the teams at U18 Nationals in, we believe it's in Bemidji. Stay warm, guys, and go represent us well.
And thanks to everyone who helped out with organizing the Bonspiel and volunteering and on-ice officials. And with that, I think we're going to sign off. Thanks for watching.